Hello BookTube, my name is Darcy, I'm 21 and I'm from Melbourne, and this is my hashtag #LoveOzYA book tag that was created by Kirsty over at Melbourne on My Mind. I'll leave her channel down below. So the purpose of this BookTube tag was to raise more awareness for books that have been written by Australian authors in the genre of young adult. There is so much great young adult out there, but the majority of it is American. And I have to say that despite being Australian, I don't read enough young adult by Australian authors, which is embarrassing because in real life with my mates I preach so much about Australian content, yet I have nothing to back it up with. Anyway, on with the tag. Number 1, A Sunburnt Country, a book that put YA, Australian YA, on the map. For me personally, it was The Runner by Robert Newton. I read this when I was in year 7 in, oh god, I don't even remember when, but it was published in 2005 and I read it when I was 13. It's set in Melbourne in Richmond in 1919, so just after the First World War, and it follows Charlie, who is 15, I believe, and he is thrown into the man of the house role after his father dies of the Spanish flu. Winter arrives, and so to help him deal with the cold at night, Charlie starts to run around the streets, which he becomes really good at, which lands him the role of a runner for the gangster Squizzy Taylor. I really should reread this book because I remember really loving Charlie and really not identifying with him, but feeling like I understood where he was coming from and why he made the choices he did in order to help his family. Yeah, it deals with themes of family, right from wrong, and is just a good look at Melbourne back in those days. The second question is Back in Black, your favourite OzYA sequel. And for this one I choose The Dead of Night by John Marston, which is the second book in the Tomorrow series. If you haven't read the Tomorrow series, and you like young adult, I don't really know what you're doing. The sequel for me wasn't really as realistic as the first one, but being a massive character-driven person, I found this book really interesting. The way the characters fought and their struggles just were, I loved it. Number 3, The Man from Snowy River, a book set in a rural area. So I'm kind of cheating with this one because I'm not sure if it actually is set in a rural area, but I'm choosing So Much to Tell You, again by John Marston. So this book tells the story of Marina, who was involved in a burning accident, I think with her father, and she recovers, but during her recovery she never speaks, and it's been ages and she hasn't spoken yet, so in order to kind of help her, maybe get her to speak again, her parents send her to boarding school. And in the boarding school, one of her classes requires her to keep a journal, and so through that journal we see Marina open up and you just gradually learn more about her and why she has decided not to talk. I'd recommend this book to anyone actually. It's quite lovely and Marina is such an interesting leading character. Number 4, From Little Things, Big Things Grow, a book you think deserves more attention. For this one, I am choosing Barracuda by Christos I can't pronounce his last name, but Christos. I am cheating again. This book isn't defined as young adult, but I really think that anyone 16 and above can read this book and will get a lot from it. I absolutely adore this book. It has just left a massive imprint on my heart. It follows Daniel Kelly, who's a 14-year-old boy, and he's a damn good swimmer. He gets into a private school on a sports scholarship because of his swimming, and so this book deals a lot with private versus public school kind of differences and those kind of things, and I always enjoy when that debate comes up because any well thought out debate realizes that public schools forever. My distaste of private schools knows no limits really. It also has themes of family, friendship, and like sports athletes and the kind of glorification we put on those kind of people. This author is definitely known for his use of language and cursing and stuff in the book, but in this book, it is so refreshing and relevant as well. It's just awesome. This book is damn tough to read at times. It's thought-provoking, honest, and I really think you should pick it up. I am, you are, we are Australian, a diverse protagonist. For this one, I choose Flywheel by Erin Go. Erin Go. The lead character, Dell, is a 17-year-old lesbian. Australian lesbian who's comfortable with her sexuality. Diverse. I love Dal because she never apologizes for being a lesbian or feels the need to explain it or be uncomfortable about it. This story really warmed my heart. Nothing majorly eventful happens. It's just a really simple, lovely read. That's Not a Knife, a badass YA character. For this one, I picked Katie from Illuminae. She's hilarious, she's witty, she knows what she's talking about. She just puts her head down and gets shit done. She has amazing initiative and heart, and I love her. And I need the sequel to this book right now. Joustin Sticks, your favourite Australian fantasy series, and I haven't read any. Isn't that horrible? So I'm gonna go with Lifespan of Starlight because See, here's the thing. This book has fantasy elements, like it deals with time traveling, but it's not magical, so I can't really call it fantasy. It's definitely dystopian though. But it's really good and easy to get through, easy to understand, interesting world. It's just good. There's a bear in there, a book you remember from your childhood, and for this one, oh, I have to pick Miss Lily's fabulous pink feather boa. It's so lovely. The lost Potteroo finds a hotel and he stays in it, and the owner of the hotel is Miss Lily, and she wears this pink feather boa and he pops it on and he just feels fabulous. I was also going to include a Pamela Allen book, but she's from New Zealand, so there you go. He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich, a book that feels authentically Australian. For this, I chose Deadlier by Philip Gwynn. This book has a strangely low rating on Goodreads, and I don't know why, because I adore this book. It tells the story of two mates. One is white, one is an Indigenous Australian, and they are mates and they play on the footy team together, which fills me with so much joy because I adore AFL. I'm already itching for the season to start. It's a book that deals with friendship, family, sport, and also race, and I remember this book being really influential to me when I first read it, because up until that moment in my life I'd never thought about racism deeply, and racism in Australia deeply. Number 10, I Still Call Australia Home, a book that is set elsewhere. Was there ever any doubting my choice? If you haven't read Illuminae yet, read Illuminae. Like, you just read it. As I said at the beginning of this video, this tag has brought to my attention the lack of Australian content that I read. So this year I'm changing my 1 Australian author a month rule to 2 Australian authors a month rule. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see you soon. I'll see you next week. I'm doing a book recommendations video which should be interesting, so watch out for that one. Have a lovely day.